So very good afternoon, ladies and gents, and myself Manoj Kumar Singh from Industar. I am accompanied by my colleague Arun Tripathi and my colleague SP Singh and my colleague Viveka sitting in the audience. So I would be presenting the Indus Carbon Abatement Program, what it is and how it is being driven. So before I go to the ICAP, I would just give a snapshot. What about the Indian telecom industry, because it is the much talked subject about carbon emission and the various telecom directives coming in. So just to give a snapshot, yes, today we have almost 3,30,000 of towers, which are supposed to grow by 4,50,000 by 2015. And once we talk of the emission factor, yes, because primarily we have a power from grid and a backup power from DG-sets. So of course from grid, today we are set to increase by 10.6 million tons of CO2 emission by 2015, whereas by our own backup power generation, it is roughly 1/3 or 40% of that is supposed to be 4.7, and altogether summing total 15 million tons of CO2 generation, which is projected to be by 2015. So this was the issue, and various bodies at various levels must talk subject and various guidelines, and the intention was how to bring this emission down or under control. So before, what are the major initiatives and the thought processes going behind it to control or to reduce? Just to give how the Indian telecom industry look like as against the overall global emission. So if I say yes, global norm is 0.7%, and before I say 0.7%, first of all, I would like to emphasize that though it is a much talked subject of carbon emission, but altogether it is 1% of my total country's emission. My number may go 0.1% here or there, but it is almost 1%. Yes, my factor is little skewed towards India, because as it is little higher as against the whatever global norm is there as a 0.7, and if I say 1%, it actually looking to the subscriber base, if you say it is 21 kg of CO2 per subscriber base, it comes out to be. And how the green telecom approach is at Industar, basically before I go into the initiative level, what I would like to actually emphasize here is our business model of sharing itself is a green business model. So today the tenancy ratio of the industry is roughly 1.9. So if you see that once we migrate from tenancy 1 to tenancy 2, almost we reduce carbon emission by 20%. And here on by 75, 70 and 60%. So the approach at Industar is, rather than looking to the initiative level, we actually focus toward the final deliverable what it is, because ultimately if we just split the entire show into 3 particular segments, that how to optimize the demand side management, and then how to optimize the conversion. Probably this is a corollary of the distribution, but in telecom it is basically the local side distribution, how to optimize that, and the third is how to optimize the generation part. So altogether, rather than talking into the buckets of distribution and the consumption and the generation, rather we took as a final derivative that what my carbon emission is and how to have a very progressive, very targeted reduction plan. So we actually driven a comprehensive, umbrella program, which is the Indus Carbon Abatement Program. Of course, which will lead towards low carbon economy and a sustainable future for not only for Indian telecom industry, for overall economic growth and resulting very inclusive growth. Just to come as a ICAP, ICAP is basically a comprehensive of various initiatives what we talk of, may it be technical initiative, may it be energy efficiency at the equipment level, and may it be the sharing business model. Just to look to the top 2 buckets of what ICAP enablers are, we have one bucket of technology enablers in which we talk of the PIU logic change, in which we have intelligent DG set control and the battery management. The second is the environment management with the help of free cooling units. The third is a thermal backup management with the help of inverters. Fourth is intelligent power distribution and conversion through IIPMS. Next is solar hybrid system focusing towards greener power generation. Also we have pilot of power generation through gaseous solutions. Few pilots of power generation through wind hybrid solutions, and also hydrogen based and self-charging based fuel cells. These are the technical initiatives we are talking of. While we are focusing towards various technological solutions, we are also working towards various operational enablers as well to exploit the best possible efficiency of the existing infrastructure. Major is the green city. I will elaborate what about green city in the later slides, in 1 or 2 slides. And the second is the welcome site and site hygienes, so that just to enhance the efficiency of the existing infrastructures, and focusing towards conversion of indoor site into the outdoor sites, so that refrigerant and the environment management demand side consumption goes low, so that in turn it results to the energy efficiency. Just to give a snapshot, not only talking of the commitment, this slide is purposefully inserted to just show what is our commitment. It is not that the DOT directive came today. If I look back to the number of year 9-10 versus the 10-11, because 11-12 is yet not complete, that data is yet not published. So we already have achieved, we were consuming 475 million liters of diesel in the year 9-10, again the 425 million liters of diesel in the 10-11. So if I translate in terms of CO2 emission, it is a straightway reduction of 12% of CO2 reduction, which are declared and certified figures. Of course, we are committed to do many more. As I said that I will be explaining the green city. The concept is very simple. What we are doing, we are actually identifying the cities having 20 plus hours of EB availability. On those sites, we are doing the various technological management at site and making the site diesel free, completely diesel free, not even a single liter of diesel. We started the journey, actually the concept was conceptualized in the month of March, and within conceptualization, within 6 months, we launched first city of Indus universe as Ahmedabad as a green city. We officially launched in the municipal corporation limit of Ahmedabad. We declared all sites green. We are not filling till today not even a single liter of diesel. It is not 24 hour. Absolutely. Always the journey begins with a lower target, and probably good input, sir. Incidentally, Bihar is not our universe of network. Yeah. I would come to that also. Probably I am willing to accept have this type of discussions. So this is what not only the culture at technological solution at site, rather the culture also. The slide purpose here is we are using CNG vehicles. I have not inserted much of the slide because it is a jury level slide, so I have just put little clips one. I can share one more, that at the Chandigarh office we have implemented it 1 day through bicycle. So it is already in place. So it is not the technological solution, rather as a commitment, as a organizational level. So that's what the purpose of inserting these slides. Just to show, it is not only Ahmedabad. As I said, the moment we did Ahmedabad in August, in January 12 we did Gandhinagar and Patan. Then we did Palanpur, Chandigarh and Kolkata. And very recently, last week, which was a media clipping, we announced Mumbai as a green city. So altogether 7 cities already we declared green. Now herewith, as you rightly said, that yes, we also thought of this way we will be focusing only towards good cities. How to multiply this concept exponentially. So here onward, what we have migrated from, rather than green city to green sites. So here is the answer here, sir. Even in Lucknow, we have identified 750 sites in the municipal corporation of Lucknow, which is targeted to be green within 3 months. So that the target is. So having said all those technical initiatives, operational initiatives, organizational commitment, ultimately everything boiled down to what my numbers speak. Here is the number and very well defined Indus commitment of carbon reduction footprint plan. Already we have achieved 12%. Altogether we are set to reduce it to progressively up to 25%. That the commitment is. Parallelly, while we all say that we are talking of the direct emissions, I would take 1 minute here to explain what my concept of the blue ocean strategy is. Indian telecom industry was formed 15 years back. We took 15 years to understand that best exploitation of the infrastructure is the real future. It is not only from the capex per se, rather from the carbon footprint per se. And 4 years back, India, we are proud to be pioneered this concept, that we started this concept which is being followed by all major telecom players across the globe, and in turn resulting not only the capital infrastructure but energy cost reduction. Now, I am also representing Tower Association of India. We have pioneered the concept of the RESCO, Renewable Energy Service Companies, and that's what we are interacting with the MNRE and the DOT, that let's look the next wave of transformation as a energy sharing, not only the infrastructure sharing. We have offered our commitment that we as a widely distributed business, we can offer an anchor role in providing the essential services like power to the rural community, and we will be supporting to the RESCOs, and we will offer as our anchor customer for long-term relationship for 10 years, and then encouraging those RESCOs to primarily feed to us and then feed surplus power to the local community at half the cost at whatever cost we are paying off. And even if you have a surplus power, please backfeed it to the grid, in turn avoiding the national infrastructure criminal wastage, which is the transmission losses and the transmission capital infrastructure. So, how we are actually promoting this concept, I will take 1 minute. Of course, technology is there, everybody knows the nascent stage of the technology and the challenges. We said we will join together with that RESCOs, and we will be offering as anchor customers so that the technology cost goes little lower. And then we are requesting government to actually initially support the RESCOs so that they get some subsidy support for initial few years, and by the time they get mature, we ourselves are saying that this RESCOs should expand their business by feeding to the local community and multiple tower sharing, so that within a short span of time, government support is not at all required, and RESCOs are standing upon their feet with their own business model and with their own sustainability, whatever they have in their plan. What the RESCO future is my last slide. If there is RESCO, of course, it will be not only supporting to themselves but to the tower industry as well during the emergency response system like earthquakes and other natural disasters. If we have a widely distributed network, probably it will be the fastest restoration time. I will quote one example of recent earthquake where we have our own operation in Darjeeling areas and surrounding to Kolkata. Trust me, we were there to restore our network even before the bodies were removed. It is only because we have such a wider reach and such a widely distributed power generation network. So it is not only the growth, it is not only the business, rather it is an emergency response system. So this is the need of the hour. And of course, it will make a self-sustainable community at a country like India. Thank you very much.
Can you give us some figures of the share of carbon footprint and its relationship with GDP contribution of the country?
EV consumption. I will give 2-3 facts to you. This is a very surprising fact which today morning I have a discussion with the MNRE secretary. Though everybody is looking to a telecom industry to reduce their carbon footprint, but everybody knows that we are highly dependent upon the EV power. EV power means electricity board power. And today, fortunately, unfortunately, while we all in the bureaucrats as well as the business model, everybody talk of the carbon footprint reduction, but probably few of us must be knowing the recent published data of CERC indicates that the carbon emission factor of the grid, northern grid especially, has increased from 0.89 to 0.91. Whereas, this is the one fact, it is on the increasing side because of the blend of coal and other renewable energy resources, whatever capacity addition government of India has. Other side, if you look to the carbon emission factor with the diesel, which you precisely asked with me, it is 0.7, it is already published data. It means if you really look, if I generate power through diesel vis-a-vis grid, I am generating less carbon. But yes, the driving factor to eliminate the diesel is not only the carbon. There is a debate widely going on within the ministry and within the, you can say, bureaucrats, that it is a highly subsidized and dependence upon the imported fuel. So it is not only the carbon, but the subsidy as well. But on the carbon footprint per se, my diesel carbon footprint, because of my inflated grid emission factor, is lower than the grid.
Related question. If you take telecom as a sector, how much carbon footprint it generates vis-a-vis the contribution it makes to GDP?
Contributed it make to?
GDP, gross domestic product. So we need to focus on where this ratio is high.
Exactly. If you, very good question, sir. We are contributing roughly, if I'm not wrong, 2.5 to 3%. Whereas my, yes, to the GDP. And whereas my, as I shown into the slide, that my carbon contribution to the country's emission is less than 1%, or around 1%. So it is 1:3 is the ratio.